pressure. It's not designed like that.
What about the other day we had the rock underneath?
Yeah, because it was small.
And it went small and it ended up getting
went
under.
down.
Yeah.
That's the advantage of this machine versus that machine. Okay, what happens with that machine is, let's say you get an elongated rock like this, and it comes in and it actually falls into this vein, and it fits below water level in here, and the airlock can continue on its path. Well, the first thing that's going to happen on that one is going to jam up right at that elbow, and you got to pull the elbow off, and get up in there and try to pull it up. As you can see, you've got to clean out here. That's just 4 latches, and that piece just comes off, and it's a straight shot. Okay, so there's no Allen bolts to take off at the bottom. All right, there's no climbing in the machine. There's one square rubber gasket in there. So just pull that out, get right in there, and again, there's nothing under pressure in there, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you're going to get in here, there is not a safety switch down there. If you're going to get in there, it's a good rule of thumb just to turn the machine on.
Yeah.
And also,
any maintenance to do on it.
Any maintenance, yeah, and that's not a good habit.
No jamming, no
habit to do.
rods in there or anything.
Yeah, turn everything right off. It's not a bad. You do have, and I don't normally tell guys much about this because it's nothing you're ever going to play with, but you can see you've got 2 pins here. You've got a bracket that comes in, and if you look above the wheel here, you can almost see a bracket that comes down. The reason that's there is if you're doing mulch, which 9 out of 10 guys that buy this are, or compost, you don't want a whole wall of mulch coming back and hitting this at one time. All right, we want the mulch just to be pulled in from halfway up this wheel.
Right, so that cuts it in half.
So that's just kind of a guard to keep that whole wall of mulch away from there.
And you can move that thing,
Yeah.
You wouldn't move it ever unless you were doing something like dry playground chips, you know, the wood chips that are dry and square, because they're so light and they don't come in chunks, you know, they're free-flowing more. You can really keep that thing right out, and this thing will put out 25, 30 yards an hour. That's fine. So that's the only reason that gate's there. You pull that out if you were doing something like playground chips.
Maybe a compost, dry compost.
I'll tell you, the volume you can get out of the end of the hose by having that gate right where it is plenty. You won't ever find yourself removing it. Okay?
So what's that plug there for?
That plug is for an option of liquid injection. So they sell an optional tank. You can inject water for dust control, pre-emergence fertilizers, things like that. And that's a plug-and-play thing down the road too if you decide that that's something that's going to work for you.
What a pre-emergent, what would a unit like that run? What is it, like a hopper or something?
It's a tank, liquid.
Oh, liquid
pre-emergent.
Okay, all right. So
yeah,
it'd be like a jet
not
or
like a
something
2% or but a liquid. Yeah. A couple more grease points here. Make sure you hit that. You know, hitting these. Nothing too special there. Got another grease point up on the front there. A couple things up front we've got the tarp here. Just get your unwind and rewind. One really important point on this tarp, and good habit to get into, is when we tarp it and we get to the job site, the very first thing before I do anything is untarp it. Because what happens is you'll leave it tarped, you forget the tarp's over it, you'll empty the load, you'll go back to get another load, you'll forget that it's down, and you're loading mulch on top of it. And now I'm selling you a new tarp. And you don't want to.
how much is a new tarp, Chris?
Thousands.
Thousands.
For the whole aluminum, everything, yes. Yeah. So it's a good habit. You get to the job site, the tarp goes back. Okay. There's a clean out here as well. Just like your other one has a small clean out on the front. This is a clean out for this machine, okay? You're just loosening these two here, and the other side is on a hinge, so it'll just hinge down, okay? So if you are changing colors, you're going from bright red to dark, and you can't have any of those red eyes in the mulch. You can open up that back door, park this at a bit of an angle, and run a hose and wash everything out so it drops down here. Okay? It's also a good habit to get into, you know, when it's cold out. Okay, if it's going to be cold out, you want all the mulch out from underneath that chain and from around those sprockets, because things will freeze. You'll go out March 1st to do that early job, and you'll end up breaking something. So make sure you're getting all the mulch out of this at the end of the year. Okay? Again, another grease point for your floor. Your floor chain is adjusted here instead of the pull action like the other machine has. This is more of a push adjustment. Okay, so you're just tightening these in. That's nothing you need to worry about for the first little bit. You know, I would say, you know, midway through the season, I might check it, and your manual is going to denote exactly how that should be adjusted. Okay. And anything I'm telling you today is all in your manual. I'm going to recommend that anybody who's going to operate this machine and anybody who's going to work on this machine read through the manuals. All right, there's especially the fin manual. You don't have to all read through the Cummins manual, but the fin manual is pretty important. All right? What else I can tell you on service?
Spare tire?
There is no spare tire. That's an option that we didn't decide to do.
Remote?
There is a remote control. Yeah, we'll go over all that. Let's see. You've got a few things in here. All right. All your owner's manuals. Okay, we'll go over what those are afterwards. You don't need all that on video. You've got a grease gun in here. Okay, you should keep a grease gun in the box at all times. Maybe a couple extra tubes of grease. You know, the few things I'd put in this toolbox, which you guys probably know well about, is duct tape, because the hoses, like leaf vac hose, they don't last forever, right? AA batteries. This takes AA batteries. Okay, so you know it takes 4 of them. If you can put 8 or 12 of them in here, you know it's going to save a crew of 5 guys from searching out batteries. You know, when they're on a job site. So you can do that. That would be, I think, advantageous to you. Yes. This remote is magnetic, so the reason they did that is a lot of times guys will come back, you know, they'll disconnect it from their belt.
Put it right here and
It's
drive away.
It's the end of the day, they're tired, they set it here, they go reel the hose up, and this is down the road. So they put it on a magnet for that reason.
How much for one of those?
They're over $1,000. It's still good rule of thumb when you have this on your hip to not take it off until you get into the cab of the truck. Don't store it in here. This is not lock proof. You know, I mean, somebody certainly can get in here and steal the remote, and they are programmable to other machines. So if your guys are at lunch at a gas station or wherever they go to grab a lunch, you know, and they put it in here, you know, there is a chance it gets stolen, and it's expensive. So if it's me, I'm going to keep it in the cab. Okay. And the other thing is, if they do take it off, it's great that it's magnetic, but it doesn't do you any good if they set it here. All right, and then you go down the highway, unless it happens to fall right. You know? So it's just good habit to use the cab instead of the toolbox for this remote. This is just a hydraulic shut-off valve. So we take these off because we talk to a lot of folks on the phone that may not, you know, understand English fully, and we're trying to explain to them what to do on the phone. You know, they're having a problem, and we've had more than one case where guys have turned this off and blown hydraulic pumps out. So we take these off. If you break a line and you need to shut off your main feed, okay, there's a line that comes out of the bottom of the tank. You just put this on, shut it off. No, it's just an irrigation valve. All right, this is our start-stop box. This is no different than the start-stop box you have on the other machine. All right. This goes right here. I leave this connected all the time. If you felt like you needed to disconnect it, you can. 4 times than not, you can leave it connected. Okay, this is just a dry plug. This is just to keep this dry, and for some reason you wanted to throw this in the box. Okay, you just pop that out, pop this in. And this, again, is on a magnet. All right, and I'm just going to put it right here. All right, and it's not going to go anywhere. You can leave that connected all the time. There's no reason to ever have to take that out. In fact, I don't know why they just don't wire it in for good. It is removable. All right, I guess it's the belt they give you as well. If you don't wear a belt, you know, you can use this for the remote control. Most guys will wear this on the opposite side that they're handling the hose, so that it's really not in your way and you're not bumping it around all day. I like this remote a lot better than anything they've ever had because the toggles and emergency stop button are protected. So if you know, typically if you drop it, you know, you're not dropping it on a toggle. It is a heavier duty plastic. It's more of a composite than it is a plastic. It's a lot heavier duty than what you've had. Actually, you guys have the old metal,
Yeah.
the big box. Okay.
We have both.
So you haven't. Oh, you have the plastic one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a big step up from the plastic.
We should need to order one.
Yeah.
Disappeared. Wasn't magnetic.
I wasn't magnetic. So operation, you know, typically I'm going to get to the job site. I'm going to figure out how much hose I want to use. The first hose that goes on this machine is this one. What this hose does, this hose is a hot air hose. Okay, so when it's hot out, okay, this machine is going to generate a lot more air and a lot more heat. So they want this hose on first. It also takes up that initial thrashing that the mulch will create when it's coming out of this airlock. Okay, once it's in the hose, it tends to flow through smoothly, but it's coming out of here pretty good. So they want this on there first to take up that initial thrash of the mulch as well as that initial heat. Okay. Right. So that goes on first. The one caution I can give you about that hose, if you put that on here and then you connect your other hose, when you guys are pulling hose that way, all right, and they're pulling, and they pull it so hard that that one kinks, that kink isn't going away, all right? You're going to replace it, all right? So the hose goes on. It's nice because it will bend. It'll bend pretty good. But don't let them pull and pull and pull on it because they will end up kinking.
We've used the machine to pull hoses in the past. We're moving up the job site.
Oh yeah, you can do that. That has plenty of strength to do that. But again, if you've got a guy over there who's
really
like,
want
I just need a little more, you know.
You don't really want to
You're
go
gonna kink
above
it.
90.
That's it.
How much are one of those hoses?
Those aren't huge money, but they're a few $100. So, you know, they are expensive. So, you want to put that on first. The next thing to do